Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekend. Is it Friday? Yes, I think it's Friday. I think that's classified as the weekend. And welcome to Live at the Waterhole. Thank you so much for joining us here today. My name's Kelly. I'm going to be with you for the next couple of hours, serving up a delightful plethora of what our cameras have to offer today. So please do remember, everyone, we are live and we are interactive. We actively encourage you to send all your questions through. Please send them to wildearth.tv/questions, or you can scan the QR code that's currently there on your screens. We will try and get through as many of your questions and thoughts and comments as we possibly can. You are very welcome and encouraged to join the conversation on X using #WildEarth, or again, scan the QR code currently at the bottom of your screens. And the final way to interact with us is sending questions and comments via WhatsApp on +27 78630 2336. We are all looking forward to hearing from you today. We had some exceptional questions through yesterday, a couple of which I answered, a couple of which I rambled on for quite some time, and a couple of which I didn't answer. They are all gratefully received, and it is really important for us to receive everything through to let us know that you are all there. Penelope Kenyon, hello. You're saying hello to me. Hi, Mika, Zoomies, and Taxing Question Chatters. My favourite lunchtime show. Taxing Questions indeed. Penelope Kenyon. Rosalind McConnell, hello everyone. Hello Rosalind McConnell. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are very, very welcome. Sebrum Flomo. Wow. Watching from Gabanga. That's probably completely pronounced incorrectly. City. Bon County in Liberia. Wow, we have some far-flung people joining us today. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for joining us. Fuzzy Dunlop, great name. Happy Feline Friday. Thank you very much, Fuzzy Dunlop. Penelope, you're saying hello to Rosalind McConnell. Nice interaction here, and also happy Easter weekend to all those who celebrate. I agree. Happy weekend wherever you may be and however you may be appreciating it. Catherine, hi Kelly and Mika. Hello Catherine. Thank you so much for all being here. We've started with a lovely peaceful little scene here. Got some impalas relaxing by the water here at Tembe Elephant Park. There's a nice sized male at the front here. We are of course coming into rutting season, but I still haven't heard any rutting males. I remember the first time I heard a rutting male impala. I was actually on foot, and I heard, maybe I'll do the impression later. If enough of you ask, if I can get 3 different people requesting a rutting impala impression, I will happily do one for you, but I'm not going to embarrass myself unnecessarily. But I remember the first time I heard a rutting impala, I was on foot, and I was quite disturbed by this sound. It's a very surprising sound for anyone that hasn't heard it. Hendrik Lick, good afternoon from Bloemfontein in South Africa. Good afternoon, Hendrik. Thank you so much for joining us today. You are very, very welcome. I can hear can hear a somber greenbill, I believe, calling in the background there. I remember the first time I heard this bird, and I remember exactly who taught me the call, and apparently he's saying, Willie, Willie, would you come out and play? Is the way I learnt the call of the somber greenbill. We all have different ways of learning and remembering bird calls. There's lots of quite clear, specific ones, but then you start getting through to the difficult ones and people say, oh, they're saying their name. It's like they're not saying their name, they're just going tweet, 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 tweet. I call them the broad section of Tweety birds. And it's amazing how quickly you forget bird calls actually if you're out of an area for a while. It's like listening to a language. It's like using a language, it sounds like. Peter Thompson, welcome. You're saying it's lovely to be here again. Wonderful show yesterday. Wonderful presentation. I'm truly looking forward to some lovely chill time. Peter Thompson, that's really kind. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming back again today. It's massively appreciated. Deb Davis, hello. Good to be with you from Pennsylvania in the US. You are very, very welcome, Deb Davis. This is a lovely, peaceful scene. There was a little bit of a fracas yesterday. We had a slightly upset elephant here. Not sure what the cause of the upset was or what was going on. We'll probably never know, and that's one of the things I enjoy so much about the bush and nature is we don't know everything. We don't know much, actually. And what an absolute joy. I think humans have a desperate need to know and understand and have a handle on absolutely everything. And it's definitely one of the things I enjoy is I think the more we know, the more we realise we don't know. And it's what keeps us coming back. Well, it's what keeps me coming back anyway.
Experience the magic of the wild on an unforgettable 4-night safari at Mabula Nature Reserve. Hosted by the one and only Stephen Falconbridge. With Steve as your private guide, you'll gain incredible insights into Africa's wildlife, leaving with knowledge and memories to last a lifetime. Get hands-on with conservation, track elusive cheetahs, and even take to the skies on a hot air balloon ride. Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member today and unlock extras and bonuses, like ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in your safari without any interruption. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Join now to avoid missing out on these amazing benefits. Help us connect people to nature.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Because the answer is almost, it depends. And sometimes we never really know. You can ponder and pontificate, but ultimately we don't always know the answers. Oh, that boy decided you didn't want to stop there. I wonder if these little individual holes are going to start drying out soon. That one isn't though. Joanne Mello, Good Friday Wild Earth, and Kelly, Good Friday back to you, Joanne Mello. Thanks for being here and joining us with this beautiful elephant who's down and getting mucky on this puddle. Well, the sound is brilliant on this. See now why is he kicking? Why is he kicking? Does he want the water to be muddier? Is he just having a splash? I don't know. Only he knows that. Hendrik, you're saying Kelly and Wild Earth team and all involved. Thank you for the programmes on Easter Friday and the weekend. We all appreciate you. It's an absolute pleasure, Hendrik. There's certainly many, many worse things I could be doing today than joining you in your chatters and your questions, watching this fabulous elephant having a good old splash around in a puddle. It's a pleasure to be here and we appreciate everyone's participation. Okay, so today, after our extensive conversations yesterday, I've brought my reptile book to the foray, and I've been doing some reptile reading, and we have had a very interesting snake that's been hanging around. But the first thing I did have homework yesterday. I've done some of it because I'm a rebel and I don't always do all my homework. Monitors, water monitors. And I had a panic yesterday that I thought I've been calling water monitors the wrong thing when actually there is such a thing as a water monitor and a Nile monitor. There is not. They are the same thing. A water monitor is a Nile monitor, and I can tell that because of the taxonomic name or the scientific name or the Latin name or whatever you want to call it. And I can't find it now. I put a page marker in there. I do like a good book. People use the internet freely these days, but I've got quite a good library. Lots of reference books, all bush stuff, and dog stuff. So, I can't find it now. Water monitors, so rock monitors, are Varanus albigularis is the taxonomic name. I don't know what it means. And water monitors are Varanus niloticus. So niloticus tells me it's Nile. So a water monitor and a Nile monitor are the same thing. Sometimes I get a bit panicked because I'm like, oh, what have they changed now? They changed names and stuff. I'm not brilliant at it, I must admit. I think my memory's not as good as I'm getting older. I know some people that do the show are brilliant with their Latin stroke, scientific stroke, taxonomic classification names. I'm not great, but sometimes it is really important to use those scientific names because it confirms things. Plants are an absolute nightmare. You see a little yellow plant and there's 18 different common names for it, but if you look at that taxonomic name, you know what you're looking at. So that was my technique. A Nile monitor and a water monitor are exactly the same thing, I can confirm. We were looking at those claws yesterday on that monitor, and I was surprised. I've never really looked at monitor claws because they often don't hang around long enough. And those water monitors are very well known for digging. They're excellent diggers, and they will often raid nests of things buried under the ground. So very, very competent diggers, and those claws yesterday certainly proved it. Lady Macbeth, water monitors are an Asian species. See, these are the things. Oh wow, Julian Thomas. Albigularis means white throat. Thank you. That's absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much for sharing that. I did not know that. So this is, we all learn together. That's brilliant. Lady Macbeth, water monitors are an Asian species. There may be water monitors in Asia as well. But my pretty well renowned reptile book, which is Guide to Reptiles of Southern Africa, with a very cool, looks like a blue, that's not an agama, a blue lizard on the front of it, states water monitor in this book. So I'm sticking with it. There could be other water monitors that are also found in Asia. Okay, I think we're going to head across to, I think it was Tau. Let's have a look to see what we've got over there. But Julian Thomas, thank you so much for that. Albigularis means white throat. I'm looking at a picture of a... Oh no, sorry, we haven't gone to Tau at all. We've gone to Founder's Lodge. I apologise, I heard Tau instead of found. What a lovely boy. Well, boy, can't tell from here. I'm going to stop guessing sexes of things. Guten Morgen in the northwest. Good Friday team. Why is the elephant alone? Where are the family? Thank you for the question. He's gone now, but bull elephants, you often find them on their own. They're pretty happy. They can be loners. So he is not fazed by being on his own. Although we did ponder whether or not he got lonely yesterday. But thank you for your question, Guta. This rhino's happy chilling here in the shade. Although I have seen a rhino lay down here in the open sun. Again, going off track. They're supposed to lay down in the shade, but he did not. But it looks like he's having a lovely good scratch here on this tree. Lady Macbeth, you've got me thinking now again. I'm fairly sure they're not an invasive species. No, they're not. Loving your questions so far, but please keep sending them through to wildearth.tv/questions. And also comments, thoughts. I'm always more than open to being corrected on things, questioned on things. I know very little. So please, if anyone has got anything to add to anything I'm saying, sleep time, you are most welcome to send it through. I promise I won't be offended in any way, shape or form. And the trouble is, these days, anyone can just look anything up on the internet anyway. So it does make sort of a little bit paranoid about getting information wrong. But yeah, I'm always open to correction or discussion on any topic. Mindy Tilipow, this has become one of your favourite cameras. Love the colours and the abundance of rhino close-ups. It's pretty special, hey? Keep sending your questions and comments through on WhatsApp. +27 786 30 2336. They are all most welcomed. He's going to have a nice snooze here. I'm saying he. I'm guessing. But ooh, what was that? Oh, I think I've seen this rhino before. I recognise that notch. I'm saying he guessed on the fact that his horn looks relatively broad and wide. Female horns can sometimes be a little bit longer and thinner. He's got a huge, I don't even know if it's called a neck, that massive bulge coming back from his head. Could it be his traps? I don't know. Very, very bulky. And the fact that I can't currently see a calf in the picture. I'll zoom out and there'll be a calf there now. No, there is not a calf there. Doesn't mean that's not a confirmation of being male though, but that's what I'm basing my guess on. Gillian, you're asking how long does it take for a rhino to carry a calf? These white rhinos, it's about 16 months. I think black rhinos is maybe 15 months. But again, it can it's not going to vary by month. The same as humans are normally pregnant for 9 months. Sometimes it could be a bit early and sometimes it could be a bit late. But books say white rhino is 16 months.
My heart is pounding at the moment.
We are here in one of the best places in the world to see tigers.
Become a Wild Earth YouTube member and unlock exclusive bonuses and benefits. Enjoy uninterrupted, ad-free streams so you can stay immersed in nature. Have your burning questions answered first by me or other expert naturalists. Enjoy exclusive access to special broadcasts and videos. And help us to connect people to nature.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Welcome to Safari Spotlight. We'll be
And you pretend like you're a salesman, eh?
Got no idea what's going on this reserve.
expecting the unexpected.
Are we stuck down there?
What am I trying to do?
So we have another giant of Mabula. That was incredible.
This is unbelievable.
It's going to be a spectacular afternoon.
We are here with a male leopard.
So this rhino wouldn't really have any natural predators. So he's just keeping an ear out. He's unlikely to get eaten by lions or anything like this in this position. But as with all of the animals out here, they just keep an ear or an eye or a nose on what's going on around them. It's not unheard of for a pride of lions to have a try. So his ears are going all the time, just to keep an ear on things. Okay, we have some water monitor discussions going on. Julie and Thomas, wow, you can stay, and please keep sending your information through. Asian water monitor is a Varanus salvator, so different species, which, as you say quite correctly, goes to show how important it is to have a look at those taxonomic or scientific or Latin names for species identification and confirmation. So it can be a bit confusing. And Penelope, the common water monitor is an invasive species to SA from Asia. I've never heard that, Penelope, but I'm going to make a note of it. I've never heard of it. But I'm happy to go away and do some research and find out for you. Is because normally in these textbooks, if it's an invasive species, well, often I tell you what makes me think that is you don't normally find invasive species in identification or textbooks. Not here that I've noticed, because I've tried to look up invasive plants before in Plants of Southern Africa, and they're often not in there, but I will happily add it to my homework list. I know water monitors can sometimes be classified as invasive species in other countries, but Penelope, I will go and do some homework on it. Thank you very much for your comment, it's appreciated. Kylie Krupta, how long have I been working in this position? My knowledge is expansive. Thank you very much for saying that, Kylie. Just after I finished discussing how little I know, so I appreciate it. I did my first guiding course in 2011, and I've been in and around the safari industry ever since then. But we are always learning. As Julian Thomas 30 seconds ago taught me about Asian water monitor scientific names. I had no clue. Let's go over to the wonderful Tau Game Lodge. We'll leave this, I assume, boy having a nice snooze here in the shade. And I think we might have some impalas across at Tau. Let's have a look. Hey, ooh. So after me saying I haven't heard or seen any rutting impalas, let's have a looky. Now let's watch this really carefully. Are these impalas actually trying to kill each other? It doesn't look like it to me. This behaviour sometimes they do go pretty hard, but you see there's lots of posturing, there's lots of body language, there's lip licking. They were both sort of fiddling about with their legs and grooming and stuff. That's often a displacement behaviour. Hi Darren from Devon, England. You've just joined, you're late. Where have you been? Horrendous weather here. Oh shame, is your weather broken again? I'm sorry, I know you've had a nice few days, but or a couple of weeks, but I'm sorry it has gone bad again. But let's watch these impalas. It's been known for impalas and other male animals to kill or stab each other. There's stories. See, look, this is not an appropriate time for this male impala to be scratching his eye. He's in the middle of a discussion with this other male impala. That's a yawn. This impala isn't tired. This is all body language and communication. So this impala does not need to be grooming right now. And this other impala is not tired. Because no one wants to actually hurt each other. I enjoy watching male impalas because when they're doing this, it's almost like they've got a agreement that every once in a while they'll have a look over their shoulder just to make sure they're not going to get eaten. Oh, it's getting a little bit more enthusiastic. Tengo, you are asking what was the probable weight of that rhino that we saw before. Couple of tons. 2.5 tons, somewhere around there. It's a lot of rhino. See, this is all communication with these two impalas. They will be establishing who is higher or lower in the who gets mating rights scheme of things. Lots of yawning, lots of posturing, but a really interesting point is the grooming. And we know that elephants will often pretend to feed if they're a bit uncomfortable, or they sort of dangle a leg in the air. Many animals show displacement behaviour, and it's making them feel more comfortable. It's possibly giving signals that, okay, look at me, I'm grooming, I'm not hurting you at the moment. Nature is often very violent, but it can often be much more gentle as well. This was a very loose discussion. Penelope, yes, you're right. They're practicing. They're communicating. You will often find in bachelor groups of impalas, if you've got 10 males, there will be one. Sorry, completely neglected to mention this beautiful water buck in the foreground. They will often know who's going to get the main breeding rights without having to fight it out. Sometimes if you get two equally matched, I'm not backing down individuals. But look at these head shakes, these yawns. See that sometimes they're barely even touching each other. That's so interesting to watch. This is a nice long interaction actually. There have been cases of impalas impaling each other and then the other one dropping to the floor. I've certainly never seen that. I've seen a few. I mean, they're making contact now. So this might be getting a little bit more serious. That was a proper pin there. So what I think has been happening is that they're being more simultaneous yawning, stretching. Those impalas are not tired and they haven't just got back from the gym. This is all communication that they will understand from one another. I'm not entirely sure what it means. I know in dogs lip licks and yawns are often a sign of discomfort, so they're just a little bit not completely relaxed. I don't understand impala body language as well as I do dogs, but it's the grooming that's interesting. If you're in the middle of a proper bar fight, you're not going to suddenly start digging through your pockets or something like that. You know, humans, you can't quite put it into human terms, but they're not suddenly grooming each other because they've suddenly found a tick. This is getting a little bit more heated now. Dark Main Lover, hello, difficult question asker. You're mostly welcome. Please no chicken egg questions today. Good afternoon, and you're also saying good afternoon to FC. Great to have you as our host on this fabulous Live at the Waterhole show. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I'm currently on a tangent about bar fights and finding keys. But this is so interesting. See, they don't want to hurt each other. Both yawning. I can hear a pearl-spotted owlet in the background here. That's a bit strange. Strange time of day. That beep, 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 pew. There's a pearl-spotted owlet I heard there. Oh, do we have an outcome? See, this to me, like, is he going to come back for more? That to me looked like the one on the right has sort of said, okay, I'm done, I'm walking away. Is he going to change his mind? Yeah, that to me it's the one on the right now. He sort of skipped sideways, dropped his shoulder and wandered off in the other direction. So that to me looks like the one that's currently on the left came out on top of that. But no one's suddenly mating with females. It's all just understanding the hierarchy of what's happening here. And no, they don't. They really don't want to hurt each other unless they have to.
Join the Wild Earth YouTube superfan community and unlock a world of additional perks. Get exclusive early access or discounts to Wild Earth travel deals. Wear the best bush attire with merchandising discounts. Enjoy an interactive live monthly private safari. Don't miss out on the ultimate fan experience. Join the YouTube superfan community today.
you don't get super close-up views of hippos. So I really enjoy watching them because I don't understand hippos that well, to be honest. You can't see their whole bodies. I like to be able to see the whole body of an animal to try and work out what's going on. And so often with hippos you just see 2 ears and 2 eyes and 2 noses, which is quite difficult to read. Oh, excuse you. Computer enthusiast, you're saying it's strange how they communicate without language. I think it's brilliant. I don't know about strange. I think it's absolutely awesome how all of these animals, all of nature, right from insects to birds to hippos, communicate without words. And if you think about it, humans, and we do it too. We often we can have whole conversations with one another, even humans, without using words. But I think we might get a little bit lazy because we don't need to, and we just listen to the words people say rather than how they are said, or their body language that's used while they're saying them. And I hope we don't lose the ability as humans to read each other with these subtle cues. I think a little bit ironic saying this as I sit here online, but I hope we don't lose the concept of human contact and communication because we can't see each other anymore. We spend so much time communicating through media. Those subtle cues, I hope we're still going to be able to apply them as brilliantly as animals do. Penelope, you're saying there was a little crocodile on the bank here this morning. I would be fascinated to see where that little crocodile was, if he's still here. He or she is still here. Spuss, you're saying so impalas do lip licks because they're not in comfort with each other. Do impalas not allogroom? Yes, they absolutely do allogroom, but allogrooming and a non-contact lip lick is two different things. Allogrooming is they will use their lips and their teeth to remove ticks and stuff. So yeah, they absolutely do that. But the way those two males were posturing and yawning and licking their lips was definitely not allogrooming that we saw earlier. Mindy, hello Mindy. Is it just my monitor, or does one of the hippos look really pink around the face and eyes? It could be my monitor too. That one on... There's a lot... How many hippos are even here? There are 4 in here. If you're... Ooh! That one in the middle does look quite pink there, Mindy, but yeah, my monitor's not great either. This is fascinating. There's 4 individuals here. I don't know the makeup of these hippos in here. I don't know if there's males or females or youngsters or I don't know who's in here. Let's try and work it out. So this one on the left looks fairly large. Could that maybe be a bull here? Is there 4 or 5 hippos here? None of this looks aggressive to me. So pied kingfisher getting in, and I could only tell that was a pied kingfisher by what it sounded like. I think it was a pied kingfisher. Anyway, but this, to me, this interaction that we're seeing here, to me, this looks like, I don't know, it might be family, it might be a group of friends. I'm not sure what the makeup of these hippos here is. It's just like a gentle chat. So a group of friends or a family group might sit around and communicate about, oh, you know, I'm a bit stressed today, or I don't know, whatever it is, a family group or a group of friends would be chatting about. This to me looks like a similar sort of interaction. Could be some bonding. This all looks very sedate and quite friendly. Jovial nose nibbles going on there by the looks of it to me. Oh, computer enthusiast. Controversial. If animals communicated with language, I think they would live differently. Maybe get along better and be better organised. I think if animals... Oh, this is getting quite deep for a Friday, computer enthusiast. I think if animals communicated with language, I think they would live differently. Would they get along better? And be more organised? There's only... If you're scared and your body says you're scared, then that's the end of it. But if your body is saying, I'm afraid, or I want to get away from you, but you're saying, no, I'm not scared of you, you're using different language, does that confuse things or make things clearer? I will leave that for you all to decide. Spas, you're asking what makes the colour pink in hippos. My understanding is it's a solution called hipposodic acid. It's a solution that comes from special pores in their skin, and I know they go very, very pink when they've been very hot in the sun. I'm not sure if it might be produced through... See, that looks like a bull to me on the left. Whether or not it could be produced at sort of I think it's temporal glands, whether or not it could be produced under emotional circumstances as well, I'm not too sure. But my understanding is it's a solution called hipposodic acid that's produced through special skin glands that acts as sort of people say it acts like a sunscreen. Penelope, you're saying the hippos were so sleepy this morning, so they're active now. Absolutely. I can't quite work out what the dynamic is here. I'm starting to sway towards the fact that the one that's just moved out of the picture is possibly the dominant bull, or the male who hangs here. Animal lover, are these hippos all very young? They don't seem to have big teeth or tusks. I'm not sure. Animal lover, possibly. It looked like the one on the left was fairly big, probably a bull. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the dynamic is here. You wouldn't normally get. It's often the big bulls, the big males, that get the super long tusks that they use for defence and fighting if they need to. So they could well be animal lover. Maybe it's one bull, 2 females and 2 youngsters in here.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Rennis is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My name is Takuzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is Jem. He's driving, yo. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when, these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yo. You gotta put your seatbelt.
Excellent question. As sugar bits, do younger hippos get braver in a bigger crowd of young hippos? I'm going to guess yes. Sugar bits. Logic would say safety in numbers. If there's a group of calves that are interacting with one another, playing, wrestling, socialising, generally hippoing together. I'm going to say that's probably good for them. It would develop strength if they're wrestling. It will develop confidence. So I'm going to say yes, although I have zero evidence of that. Sugar bits? that was a hippo on its back. Look. You don't see that very often. That hippo was, its feet were in the air. You can see its little white tummy. Well, big white tummy. This is a lovely interaction, actually. I just wish I could see all of them, as in I could see what their whole bodies are doing. This is a better visual than we normally get on hippos. That little plover, it looks like a little plover over the back there. But this is really nice. This to me looks like a family group of buddies and brothers or sisters or whatever it is. I've got no idea, but this looks like a weekend family gathering to me. This is a lovely interaction watching these hippos gently having a little physical conversation. Let's leave these guys. I'd love to go across to Lantora. I think we might have a hammerkop there. Have we got a hammerkop? Our hammerkop is currently missing, but he may come back. But in the meantime, Franklin, are newborn hippos able to swim? Oh, there he is. Franklin, no hippos are able to swim. They actually walk on the bottom. Hippos don't swim. And there's our hammerkop. Well found, camera people. He looks like he's having a nice little forage along the edge of that break there. Maybe looking for frogs or bushes. What are you finding there, hammerkop? Definitely see where he gets his name from. He's got a lot of fish. See, so a live kill. They've got funny shaped, I mean obviously they've got funny shaped heads, but their bodies are quite long and thin as well, aren't they? Let's try and see what he's trying to catch. That was a drink, I think. Digging around in those bushes there. That's a lovely image of a hammerkop. They've got funny shaped beaks as well. They remind me a little bit of a... Oh, got something else. Of a shoebill shaped beak. That was a drink. You see that scoop swallow? As we've discussed the other day. Only pigeons and doves are able to sort of suck water up. Other birds have to sort of scoop and pour to drink. Lady Macbeth, yes, these are fascinating birds. I'm just trying to think about I'm not going to get it right. There's a local cultural story that calls these birds the lightning birds, but I can't quite remember exactly why that is. So I'm going to add... Wow, I've got a lot of homework to do today. I think it is to do with the fact that they are so often around water. They're associated with storms, but don't quote me on it. I'll get it right. Computer enthusiast, you've got doves nesting in your backyard. Oh, we're back to the hippos. I think we might have lost our hammerkop. And computer enthusiast, you've got doves nesting in your backyard, 2 eggs, and another bird with 5 eggs. Where are you, computer enthusiast? I'd love to know where you are located if you've got birds nesting. It could mean that you are in the northern hemisphere, because southern hemisphere we're now coming out of summer into autumn. So I'm going to place you somewhere in the northern hemisphere.
My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
South Africa's wild places are closer than you think because Federal Airlines brings them to you. From the calm of our FedAir lounge to the smooth boarding of our trusted fleet, we take care of the journey so you can enjoy the adventure. Our flights go beyond the ordinary, connecting you to South Africa's most remote and extraordinary locations. Federal Airlines, your gateway to the South African wild. Safari, wine, and waterfalls. The ultimate African adventure. Sip South Africa's finest wines. Experience a world-class safari among Africa's iconic wildlife. And stand in front of Victoria Falls, one of the natural wonders of the world. All this can be yours with Wild Earth Travel, where Africa comes alive.
I'm desperately trying to find the reasoning behind this. I think there's also a belief that having a hammerkop on your house can be a bad omen. But I'm digging back into my memory banks now, so I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure. And this hammerkop, when he's hunting, he'll be splushing around with his feet as well, trying to stir up any little stuff or things that you might get up from the mud. I can't see if that's a little leaf sort of drifting left there. I thought he was going to go and grab it then. That would be cool. Hammerkops are very well known for their nests. They build massive nests. Apparently they can weigh up to like a ton or something. They could hold a man, is what we were taught. A man could stand on their nest. Can contain lots of sticks and all sorts of things. Also acts as a territorial sign to other hammerkops. So if anyone's ever seen a hammerkop nest, sometimes they will share nests with other birds. There's reports of owls using the top of a hammerkop nest as a nesting platform, but I'm sure all sorts of things live in there. I'm sure multiple birds could make their home in a hammerkop nest and no one would ever know the difference. They can take up to 6 weeks to build, sometimes, these big hammerkop nests, but they are pretty impressive structures. Sugarbits, you're asking, what is the purpose of cuteness aggression? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by cuteness aggression. If you would care to expand and and give me an example of cuteness aggression, I will happily try and answer you. If you put it in dog terms, there's an excellent chance I should be able to answer you. Did this hammercorp, that's a lovely reflection in that water there of that hammercorp. Oh, got something. And I think there's their nests often have a fake entrance as well. They have an entrance in two different places to trick animals as to, it's like a chamber inside, but there'll be a fake entrance and a real entrance, so hopefully anyone trying to get in to steal their babies or their wow, is that a squirrel? No, it's a bird. Anyone trying to get into I don't know what that is, but it looks upset. Oh, what a lovely image of that bird. I'm still not going to be able to know what it is because it's in Kenya. Looks like a robin type bird. I'm not sure, but it sounded cross. Whatever it was, that to me is an alarm call of a bird, and I instinctively, if I hear birds making that noise, I normally go and have a look and see what it is. But that was a great image of that bird. And where's my Kenyan birder gone? Are you present today? I do have my birds of sub-Saharan Africa that my microphone is currently resting on. That is 766 pages, so I won't be flicking through that to try and establish what bird that was. It's lovely having this sort of foliage and branches and stuff around the edge of this pan. It makes for great habitat for lots of things. Snakes that like water could hide in there. Lovely spot for the fish or any other insects that live in the water, rather than you see this open side here. There's not really anywhere for anything to hide. But those branches over the other side would be a great habitat for what's that? Oh, gosh, that looks like a pied wagtail to me, but I have no idea if you get pied wagtail in Kenya. So based on that, let's go over to Tembe. I think we've got, let me try and get a picture of this bird actually, and I will try and find out while we go over to Tembe to have a look at an elephant across there. Still looks lovely and peaceful here at Tembe. Oh, okay, that might have been a pied wagtail up there. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna stick to pied wagtail that we just saw in Kenya, I think. Oh, there's some lovely big bulls here today. Where are you going? Hurriedly made his way over there for some reason. Sorry if anyone just heard some scrunching sounds, it's because I was lifted my mic up off of my rather large bird book to establish the distribution of pied wagtails, so I apologise. Ha, this could be a nice interaction. Robert Cole is saying, hi elephant. See, that was a full conversation that those elephants had. Oh no, maybe we haven't finished the conversation yet. No, I think we've pretty much finished the conversation. See, just subtle head movements. He's saying everything they need to say. Gillian, these two do have very well sized tusks. Fairly equally sized elephants. If anything, I would say the guy on the right is probably slightly bigger, and the end result of that conversation would agree with that. It wasn't aggression, it was the one on the right was saying I'd like to walk over here, and the one on the left went, okay, you are most welcome, sir, is the way I interpreted that. VC, you've been watching Tenby for 6 years. Wow, you must have seen all sorts of action going on here, VC. I can only imagine what we must miss on a regular basis on these cameras. They are good sized tusks. A little bit of damage on his left, our right side there, but that is the tusk closest to us now. That's pretty much a perfect tusk. Beautiful curve, hardly any damage. If you were going to draw an elephant tusk, that's how you would draw it. Time for some mud by the looks of it. Who else have we got here today? I think I can hear a brew calling in the background. Robert Cole, polite elephants. Absolutely, Robert Cole. Very polite elephants. And animals often are, in my opinion. Unless there's I say it all the time, unless there's reason to have a impolite discussion, so possibly based on food or water or breeding, everything is often very respectful. It used to fascinate me to watch elephant herds coming and going. In Madikwe there was a very well-known waterhole called Clo Dam in Madikwe, which is basically elephant dam, and it was very often pumping with elephants. You would find one herd, they would drink, they normally had a favourite spot where the fresh water came in, and a group would drink. Another herd would sort of respectfully remain maybe 40 metres back, loiter. One herd would finish, they would move off, the next herd would come in. It was just the way it was done. Lady Macbeth, always something happening at Tenby. It would appear so. And I think as the season progresses, these cameras close to water are going to get increasingly active. We're going to see more and more interactions as water availability reduces, and more species and individuals need to utilize any remaining water that there is. I've got a little bird bath in my garden, and I saw a zebra have a drink out of it yesterday for the first time, which is a sign that water availability is decreasing, certainly here, and I would imagine it's going to be the same where all our other cameras are. Water is life. These big adult elephants, these big bulls, they do a great job of coating every bit that they want to of mud. They have an excellent level of accuracy. I think I'll just do just behind this ear and then under this back leg. But I suppose they've done it quite a few times. It's funny watching the smaller ones, the younger ones that have a far worse level of accuracy with water and mud. Like a woolly neck stalk entering from the left. I feel like everything is quite peaceful today.
Join me, Andrew Wistenholm, for an indescribable 6-night stay in the beautiful Albany of the Eastern Cape at Amakhala Game Reserve. Now, this trip is going to be action-packed with a lot of storytelling, adventure, as well as the opportunity to make everlasting memories. We'll be exploring the best of Amakhala by staying at 2 luxury lodges, which will be the perfect blend of comfort as well as wilderness. Book your spot today, and let's get ready to explore the wild beauty of Amakhala.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Most people that know me really well call me Max. I'm a mum. I have 2 boys. One is 16 years old and one is 14 years old. I'm a very, very proud mama of my 2 boys. I've just always been passionate about leopards. I'm passionate about their conservation. I'm just passionate about everything to do with leopards. I love them.
Step into the heart of Africa from the comfort of your home.
Female leopard tracks over here.
Join our expert guides for a live 3-hour safari where every moment is real, unscripted, and unforgettable. Ask questions.
Animals rely on their senses.
Share your thoughts and be part of the experience as we explore together. Safari Live.
If you're thinking about booking a trip with Wild Earth, do it. I highly recommend it.
At Letaba, showing the way those molars erupt and they move forward almost like a conveyor belt. Then they have their second set erupt, they move forward, third set, and they have a total of 6 sets that roughly last 10 years. And after that final set is no longer available, then they can't feed. I do remember reading or hearing somewhere that in captivity someone once capped an elephant's teeth and they lived past 60. But I'm not going to quote exactly where or when because I don't trust any information anymore. So I'm going to add that to my homework. Capped elephant teeth. I love the way these big bulls sometimes rest their trunks on their tusks. Probably taking a weight off. I wonder how much an actual big bull's trunk actually weighs. I know they're very, very heavy. Oh God, I'm not even, what would I even guess? 300 kilograms? No, that might sound a bit much. I wonder how much that big bull's trunk would weigh. Huh, okay. Anywhere up to almost 200 kilograms, so I wasn't that far off with 300. That is a very hefty trunk. Jasmine, you're asking why do we not see wild dogs at the waterholes? There's so many cameras. I'm not actually sure which of these areas has a population of wild dogs in them. So one answer could be that they're not present in this area. If they are present in an area, they do move quickly. I'm sure we must have seen wild dogs on some of these cameras at some of the waterholes at some point. I'm not even sure if Tenby has a population of wild dogs. Okay, it seems that Tenby does have a small pack of wild dogs, or it did as of 2019. Just 4 individuals. It might have to be, I tell you what, I wouldn't, there seems to be elephants here the whole time. I'm sure there are other water sources in Tenby, and I know if I was a wild dog, I would probably choose a waterhole with slightly less elephants. Because elephants will chase wild dogs. Unlikely they're going to catch them. But If I was a wild dog, I would choose a different waterhole, I think. Deb Davis, you're asking, have I been to the Americas? I have. I've been to Las Vegas with my mum many years ago and New York, but I've never done any nature in any of those areas. I would love to. I've got a couple of trips that I would really like to do. One is the Rocky Mountains, possibly Canada side of the Rocky Mountains. But I think if I won the lottery, I would probably do a trip to the Pantanal in Brazil. But I've done Las Vegas, Deb, and I've done New York, but never any American nature, sadly, yet. Not yet. That puddle there obviously maybe isn't muddy enough, so he's kicking some more mud. And that elephant just showed us exactly how waterholes form. That is exactly how it happens. He's making that puddle bigger. He's getting a bit of mud. Look, he just popped that bit of mud up onto his trunk. Did he just put it in his mouth? That camera froze a little bit there. I couldn't quite see what he was doing with it. It almost looked like he was putting it in his mouth. But that elephant's just given us a beautiful display of how waterholes develop. Those that aren't man-made. Is he eating that? Or is he throwing it? What are you doing? Oh no, that didn't go in his mouth, did it? I just want to watch. I'll probably never know. That's how waterholes are formed. There's a little puddle, elephants or animals or warthogs or whatever it is comes, and they squiggle and squish around in that dip where the water was, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh, Penelope, you're saying Tembe introduced wild dogs in 2011. The statistic I just saw was 2019, but maybe that's a second pack maybe, and they're doing a great job of keeping them there. And there is lots of movement of many species around different reserves throughout Africa, actually, on a very regular basis. I know there's lots of movement of cheetah, there's lots of movement of wild dogs, because their numbers are quite low, and there is a huge need to manage population genetics. So I know there are many organisations that work very hard to relocate or repopulate many wildlife species around Africa. It's quite difficult to keep up with sometimes. So thank you for that, Penelope. I appreciate it. It's very difficult getting dynamics right of I know wild dogs for sure can be tricky, because they do need huge areas. They're also quite susceptible to predation. I know wild dog packs are often, or pups are often killed by lions in an area. And if there is a population explosion of wild dogs, they do eat a lot of stuff. so that it's a fine balance to get it right, and something I don't envy people trying to attempt in any way, shape or form. Sandy Frank is 69. Why are there not more predators in general at waterholes? Seems like a good place to hunt. I've seen lots of predators at waterholes. Many times. I'm not sure if there might be more predator activity at night at these waterholes. But if I'm going to guess... Oh no, I can't guess. I've had so many predator sightings. I was going to try and guess what percentage of my predator sightings had been at waterholes. But I suppose in relation to area of waterholes in relation to area of non-waterholes, the percentage of predator sightings I've had at water is probably quite high. So I don't know why you're not seeing more predators at these waterholes. There, in my opinion, there should be. And they are great places to hunt. I think maybe predator sightings would increase at waterholes as the waterholes dry out or as the water diminishes. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, because then all animals have to come to drink, and it is a great place to hunt. But there might be 8, 10 waterholes present at the moment, so the predators might be at one of the other ones. David Atwood, you're asking, what's my favourite animal and why? Your favourites are white sharks and lions. Brilliant question, David Atwood. Are we talking any animal or African animals? I don't know. I know one of my favourite safari, probably my favourite safari animal to watch is baboons from a distance. I really enjoy spending time with baboons, but from over there, not when they're trying to get in the windows. Actual favourite animal on earth? I don't know. Honestly, David Atwood, currently I think my gut goes domestic dog, believe it or not. Because they are absolutely amazing. They are so adaptable and they are so genuine. And I think it goes with anything really. I think the more, I never used to be particularly a keen birder because I wasn't very good at it. And I think the more knowledge you have of something, the more passionate you are about it. So David Atwood, honestly, as I speak right now, domestic dogs. They're intelligent, they're gentle, they're entertaining, they're highly adaptable, incredibly forgiving. So yeah, as I sit here now, David Atwood, I'm going domestic dog. Ded Davis, you are saying the US doesn't have super high bird count, but there's some glorious natural areas. I would love to come and explore, Ded. I would love to visit again sometime. I would love to do a road trip. I would love to spend time in the wilds of the States. I would love to go tracking mountain lions. That would be cool. I would love to get back again sometime. There's so many places I want to go, especially with nature and natural areas, and just not enough time or indeed money to get it all done. I feel like today's show has been quite peaceful, despite a little bit of impala communication and despite a little bit of hippo communication. It's felt sedate to me, gently easing us into the weekend. I've got quite a bit of homework today. My emotional intelligence, these intellectual intelligence research, I've got no feedback on that because that would take me months by the time I start digging around in that. I did do a little bit of exploration around snake behaviour. I've pretty much decided that the snake we've been seeing over the last couple of days on that nest was indeed a small python. And current homework for me before tomorrow is to triple check, is a water monitor invasive species? Do hippos get diseases? A little bit of clarity around my long distance thinking of a hammerkop being known as a lightning bird and some traditional beliefs around the hammerkop. And a little bit more research into the capping of elephants' teeth in captivity. I'm sure I've read somewhere that there was once an elephant who lived past 60 years old because humans did some work or adaptations to their teeth. So I'm going to be busy before tomorrow.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart. The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
When we've got so much glorious real nature out there that we could be watching and understanding and just observing, it makes me quite cross, actually. I saw another, I don't know why I'm getting it on all my feeds, it's ridiculous. It was someone trying to rescue it was an AI leopard and a cub or something, and you can see from a mile away it's not real, but unfortunately not everyone has had the exposure to real wildlife that I and many of you have, and you can see from a mile away it's not real. the way that animals move is not real, and it makes me quite it's very strange watching all these unreal images when we could be watching this incredible real image of this elephant having an absolute blast. I just disappeared briefly there, apologies. It's a bit windy today. I think maybe that was having an impact on my sound, which is bizarre. You just never quite know. I hope you've been enjoying this elephant having a whale of a time in here. Look at the mess he's made. See, this is also quite interesting, and this is quite, I don't know, I'm getting a bit philosophical today maybe. But this elephant, we don't know when these pans are going to fill up again, when there's going to be more rain here, if there's going to be more rain here. Yet this elephant is still just gloriously kicking the water about. He's not thinking, oh, I better save this water. We might not get any more rain. That'll mean if I make a mess at this puddle, there's going to be no water left. He's just joyfully kicking it around. Not skimping on the mud, applying it liberally. And this to me is like, you see these memes and things online. It says burn the candle that you're saving, use the best china, things like this. And this is what I'm getting from the way this elephant is splashing in this mud. It might not fill up again, but he's just living his best life there. Maybe we could all take a lesson from him. He's made a mess at that puddle on the right and now he's moved further over. Mud, mud, glorious mud. He's got a proper coating there. It must be a nice relief for all of these animals now. Temperatures are starting to reduce a little bit. It's only about 24 degrees here today. It's almost chilly. Oh, and it looks like we might have some rain forecast here for maybe in a sort of Wednesday, Thursday time. But often I've found rain's predicted and then it vanishes again. But we could still get some more. Captain, you're saying this elephant is really enjoying himself. Absolutely he is. And may he be a lesson to us all. Alex, personal spa gets better with daily use. This, I think you're probably right. I think it does. Maybe there's an optimal water to mud ratio that they're going for. Having a good scratch around all the bits that he may or may not want covered in mud. That's actually a really, he's throwing mud behind him towards the camera so we can actually see where it's hitting. That's an interesting a perspective that we don't offer. Okay, but that was pretty obvious what he was going for there with that throw, and I think he got it pretty much spot on. I think there's a square centimetre of this boy that's not covered. I'll be surprised. Making some time for personal care, despite these great big elephants having to feed on a very constant basis to maintain the huge nutrient requirements that they have, still making lots of time for some personal care. Our sombre green ball still calling in the background there. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of... it's been peaceful today. Peaceful, serene, genteel. Some fabulous questions through today. Thank you all very much for your participation in today's show. I have homework, technology allowing. I will be back to hand in my homework tomorrow. I'm still trying to get better at identifying these individuals that hang around here so often. I'm not very good at it. I think we've got some more elephants across at Naledi, so if we go across we'll see what they're up to. This boy has given us a beautiful, accurate demonstration of perfect mud placement techniques. I wonder what the elephants across at Naledi are up to. Having a lovely drink there. Look at that smallest one. Yeah, they can all reach up there. This this cow on the right hand side here, she looks like she's got a broken tusk. And a lady down at Oliphants West Game Reserve, which is just up the road from here. You can see it's quite overcast today. The sun's almost trying to break through a little bit where I am, but I don't think this cloud cover is going to be lifting. Go stretch, little guy. But check how they're all deciding to have a drink from that nice clean. Ooh, that was weird. If anyone else saw that, that was like an alien elephant where the screen froze a bit. That was interesting. They're all.
Join Wild Earth Travel on a unique nature adventure in the Greater Kruger Park. Legendary master tracker Renius Mhlongo leads a 4-day animal tracking experience in the Sabi Sand Nature Reserve. This experience offers a life-changing chance to track Africa's iconic animals on foot with a master of his craft. Renius is joined by Wild Earth presenter and expert storyteller Amy Krantz, and together they will connect you to Africa's wild heart.
My full name is Maxine Gaines. Best part of the job, gosh, I just love everything about guiding. I love being able to observe animal behavior and animals behaving naturally. So for me, that's by far the best part of the job. And so what we do here at Wild Earth is develop those connections with the people that are viewing, and maybe just light a little spark that says, you know what, I want to be involved in protecting this ecosystem.
Well, depending on where it breaks, tusks are basically teeth. So if you crack a tooth and it hits a nerve, it's excruciatingly painful. But if you crack a tooth and it doesn't hit a nerve, then it's not. So same with tusks. Sandy Franklin 69. If it's low enough to hit a nerve, then it is excruciatingly painful. And it's often been found, and that nerve. So if you look at that little one closest to the camera, in a big elephant with big tusks, the nerve would run almost to there, where those small tusks are. It would probably be like, oh, I don't know, maybe a third of the way down the visible tusk. So if someone dinks a couple of centimeters off the end, it's not going to be painful, but if it's low enough to hit a nerve, yes, excruciating. And it's often been discovered that elephants that have been showing aggression or causing problems in game reserves, it has been later discovered that they have had either, some sort of injury somewhere, but several times it's been established that they've had abscesses in their tusks, or they've had a broken tusk that has been hitting their nerve, making them very, very sensitive and angry and upset. And we often see the same in our companion animals. Animals can't tell us where it hurts or how it hurts, so they try and show us in some of the only ways they know how. That little one's having a little dabble in the pond there. That's very cute. Well, it's been a fabulous couple of hours here. I've found it very peaceful and relaxing today. So as we wind up for the day, our elephants are pootling off into the bush. And a massive thank you to everyone that's joined us today, from wherever you are, far-flung corners of the globe. I shall be actioning my homework shortly, and I hope that you will all join us again tomorrow, same time, same place. I wish you all a wonderful rest of Friday, or Friday night, or wherever you are in the world. And we hope to hear from everyone again, same time tomorrow. Take care out there.